Hi guys, and welcome back to another VGC 2019 Sun Series Pokemon guide, and in today's guide we're going to be looking at the restricted Pokemon Palkia. Palkia is the partnering Pokemon in the Diamond and Pearl series to Dialga. So today we're going to go over Palkia and look at how it's used, how people are using it in this early format, and how you can maybe think of some ways to use it yourself. So without further ado, we'll get into it. But if you haven't checked out any of the other guides that we've done in the VGC 2019 Sun series yet, do go back and check them out. We've covered things like Kyogre, Groudon, Xerneas, Yveltal, lots of Pokemon so far, and they'll all be linked in the playlist in the top right hand corner now, so do go and check them out, if not before this video, after the video, and let me know what your thoughts are on these guides, because it's very helpful and I do enjoy making them. But like I say, without further ado, let's get into it. Let's look at Palkia. So quick overview. Palkia is a Dragon and Water type Pokemon. It has the ability Pressure, got that standard base stat total of 680 like a lot of the other restricted Pokemon, and distribution of 90 HP, 120 attack, 100 defense, 150 special attack, 120 special defense, and 100 speed. So you notice something that's not so familiar on all the other restricted Pokemon, and that's at 100 speed base stat. That is pretty nice. Now, a lot of the other restricted Pokemon in this series have either 90, 97 or 99, making Palkia one of the fastest restricted Pokemon in this format, which is a pretty nice plus for it, because it means it's going to be able to hit most things before they can hit it. And with that other big base stat total of 150 special attack, it's going to be hitting pretty hard wherever possible. It's got really nice defensive spread overall, 90 HP, 100 defense and 120 special defense, making it a very solid Pokemon overall. And the Dragon and Water typing is very nice, gives it a lot of nice resistances and a few weaknesses. As we can see, it's weak to Dragon and Fairy. Dragon typing isn't really that common anymore in the format with the prevalence of fairies now. It has got a weakness to Fairy typing. It's got no immunities, unfortunately. It does resist Steel types, which is very nice. Fire 4 times, which is huge, and Water like 4 times as well, which is massive. So very nice resistances there, and then hit normally by everything else. But as you can see from its defensive stats, it's going to be able to take a lot of those attacks pretty nicely. Now, what we'll do is move on to sample sets. So the first sample set we're going to have a look at is a bit like Dialga. It's got its kind of signature item, which is the Lustrous Orb. Again, a bit like the Adamant Orb. It gives Palkia a boost of 20% to all water and dragon type attacks. So we went for a timid nature just to maximize that speed stat. Make sure that you get a jump on everything with 252 speed EVs, 4 special defense and 252 special attack EVs. Really straightforward, run of the mill, nothing flash, nothing fancy, just there to hit hard, hit fast, and make sure that you're hitting before anything else can. So moveset of Protect, we've got the options of Spatial Rend, which is its signature dragon attack, Flamethrower, Thunder or Blizzard. Or other options I've tagged on there. Earth Power and Hydro Pump are kind of, I'd say, like not stable so much, but Hydro Pump I would definitely go with over most other things. You want to make sure you've got some sort of stab on there. Like I said, Dragon type stab isn't as relevant as it was back in 2010 when you last saw Palkia have a really strong showing in a format, whereas the other coverage moves are maybe a bit more useful now. The only problem with Hydro Pump is its accuracy, but unfortunately Palkia doesn't really, that's one of its drawbacks. It doesn't really get access to any other decent, like it doesn't get access to Scald for one, which is a real shame, because I think if Palkia got access to Scald, it would make it a lot more reliable, where you're not having to rely on that shaky accuracy of Hydro Pump all the time. Like I say, this set is just straightforward. It is going to be a set that you're going to see played quite a lot in the early part of the format before things start to develop a bit, but something to try out if you want to just test Palkia, and something just to keep in mind that this is maybe what you'll be going up against if you see a Palkia in the early stages of this format. So, next sample set, we're going to have a look at the Assault Vest. So, running theme as always, Assault Vest, because it's just one of the best items we've got access to, without Z moves and Megastones obviously as well. We've again went for the timid nature, just to make sure, like, we've got no investment in it, but we do just creep certain things. So you could go modest there as well. It does depend on what you want to do with Palkia, but I've just kept it as timid just to make sure that we are creeping as much as we can. EV spread of 252 HP, 180 special attack and 76 special defense. We've got moveset, obviously we can't have any status conditions, status moves I should say, with the assault vest. So we've got Blizzard or Bulldoze. I like Bulldoze as an option on the team. I think it gives the rest of your team support, speed control support, and especially if you're running it with something like Solgaleo. With the weakness policy, you've got the option there to proc it. You're not going to be hitting it for massive damage as well, because you're not like boosting your attack stat, and you're going minus attack in nature. So it's a pretty nice option there. You've got and Blizzard as well on the other side. If you're running something like Ninetales, Alola Ninetales, or Abomasnow, you've got the option of just Blizzard spam with those two pairings there, which is pretty nice as well. Just nice options. You've got Spatial Rain, Flamethrower, Thunder as the fillers there for coverage, Earth Power and Hydro Pump again. And just to give you an idea of what this EV spread does, it survives a 252 special attack Life Orb Fairy or a boosted Moonblast from a Tapu Lele, which is pretty nice. Hydro Pump in Rain can KO 4 HP variants of Tapu Lele in return, which is nice. A modest 252 special attack Kyogre Thunder is a 5-hit KO on this Palkia, which is crazy when you think about it. And then if you run Thunder yourself as a check against Kyogre, then it's always going to be a 2-hit KO against like all 4 HP and even higher variants of Kyogre. So all in all, pretty nice option with how to run Palkia, and just bulks it out and makes it even more difficult to get rid of, and just a nice option if it fits your team, I guess. So moving on, Super Berry Trick Room set. So even though Palkia is really fast compared to, well, it's a lot faster than most of the other restricted Pokemon, there's no means with why you don't need to run Trick Room. It gets access to Trick Room, so why not make use of it? And your opponent might not be expecting it, and it's a nice means outside of just going full on offensive to support the rest of your team and have a different build with Palkia. So we went for a quiet or a modest nature, 0 speed IV. Depends on how slow you want to run Palkia. Maybe you want to go a dual mode, like a Trick Room mode with Palkia, and you've got Tailwind somewhere else, so you might want to not gonna go like min speed, so you might want to go like middling speed with it, like modest, so you can make use of the Tailwind as well. We went for an EV spread of 236 HP, 116 defense, 4 special attack and 148 special defense. It allows Precipice Blades from an Adamant 252 Groudon is a 3-hit KO, which is pretty nice. And survives a Moonblast from a, actually the Precipice Blades will be a 4-hit KO. Sorry, it'll be a 4-hit KO from Adamant 252 Groudon with the Super Berry, and you'll always survive a Moonblast from a Timid 252 special attack Xerneas as well. Unfortunately, even with the Assault Vest, you can't really survive the +2 Moonblast from Xerneas. It's just too much. It just does too much damage, unfortunately. We've got a moveset of Protect, Trick Room, because that is the main principle of this set. And then I would say here is where the next slot is where your coverage is going to be, depending on what you need. Flamethrower is nice for things like Ferrothorn that do threaten you. Thunder's nice for obviously Kyogre. Blizzard's just nice spread damage. You could go Spatial Rend as well if you feel like you can get away with it. Earth Power there is an option, and then Hydro Pump. So a nice option for you to run Palkia. Bit different as well with the Super Berry, and you don't need to run Trick Room on the Super Berry set. You could drop the Trick Room aspect, go modest, speed creep a little bit, keep the same defense investment that we've got here, and just run a little bit of a variation on there. Remember, Palkia gets access to things like Gravity as well, so it could be a Gravity support Pokemon as well. You've got loads of options there with Palkia, not just to go super offensive or super slow. It has got a lot of flexibility, and it is a very good Pokemon as well. Its move pool is a little bit shallow, but it does have nice options. And then the last sample set that we're going to look at is the Life Orb variant. It's a bit like the Lustrous Orb, but it gives you a little bit more power. Again, we're going just straight down the line. There's no really need when you're going with the Life Orb to go fancy. No fancy pants here, so we're going 252 special attack, 4 special defense, 252 speed. And the moveset, like a lot of the others, you've got Protect, Spatial Rend, Flamethrower, Thunder, Blizzard, Ice Beam. Ice Beam's quite an interesting one because Ice Beam does so much to Groudon, and I think it's a roll on like not full invested HP Groudons, which is quite nice. Earth Power and then Hydro Pump as well. But if you're pairing Palkia with something like Kyogre, you don't need to worry about Groudon so much, and that's why I say like the third slot for the offensive option is just what will cater and fit your team the best. Like I keep saying throughout these guides, you've got to look at what would support and fit in your team the best rather than just go with what everyone else is running. You've got to make it fit your team, and that's the most important thing to do. And again, it works with the EV spreads and the natures and items and things like that as well. It all runs along the same sort of principles. Right, let's move on to another sample set, which is going to be the Choice Specs, and a very, very devastating set. Again, we're not going to go too flash with the EV spread or the nature. You can either go timid, get the most out of your speed stat, make sure you are outspeeding most things in the format restricted wise, or you can go modest, just drop it a little bit and still going to be outspeeding most things. Just making sure that you're getting the most out of that Choice Specs, boosting that special attack stat even more with those Choice Specs. Again, the moveset, Hydro Pump, Earth Power, things I'd probably keep, and then choose between the list that we've got next to those: Blizzard, Flamethrower, Thunder, Aurora, Ice Beam, Spatial Rend. So you've got all of those options, again just catering around what your team can fit. And then the Choice Specs modest 252 special attack Ice Beam has a 93% chance to one hit KO 252 HP Groudon, which is pretty crazy when you think about it. Like, Groudon's pretty bulky, and just being able to remove it with one attack pretty seamlessly is really nice. So it's a nice option there. It just gives you a little bit of an idea of the power of this thing as well with the Choice Specs. And then we'll move on to partners. So good partners for Palkia. An obvious one, it's weak to fairy types, so a very good fairy check is going to be Kartana. It's got the ability Beast Boost, nice typing in Grass and Steel. Obviously, like we've said, offers really nice offensive pressure versus fairy types that threaten Palkia. It's got speed control options as well with Tailwind, and then you've got the other opposite end of the spectrum with Palkia with Trick Room. So you've got both options there, which are really nice and kind of pair well together, especially if you know you've got like Palkia can work in both conditions as well. Kartana not so much in a Trick Room setting, but you never know what might be in front of Kartana. It might be Scarf Pokemon, things like that, and it might be a way for you to just level the playing field and allow you to kind of close out the game. And then the Grass typing as well to combat against opposing bulky water type Pokemon that Palkia may struggle against, especially if you're not running Thunder as a coverage move. Then you've got Kartana there. And this is like my train of thought, what I mean by saying it depends what your team needs. If you've got Kartana in your team, you're not so reliant on the Thunder because you've got the Kartana there to deal with these water types that you primarily have Thunder there to deal with them. Anyway, so it frees up that slot to use for something like maybe Flamethrower, or I don't know, Spatial Rend or something like that. So it's a very nice partner though, and probably a combination. If you see Palkia, it's probably going to be a lot of the time partnered by Kartana. Another partner is going to be Kyogre because it brings the rain and is another water typing, and it just creates that really strong offensive water kind of core. It's like a rain kind of core that you're going to see. It's like the souped up version of Ludicolo or Politoed almost. Where Kyogre brings the rain, and Palkia is going to be taking advantage of that, and its Hydro Pumps are going to be doing so much damage. It's got the coverage as well to kind of help compensate just for being a water type. It's got like we've mentioned Thunder, it's got Blizzard, it's got Spatial Rend, it's got Earth Power. It can do a lot to support Kyogre, and just those rain boosted Hydro Pumps alone are going to be doing a lot of damage. It's also got Trick Room, like we've mentioned, that can help slow up bulkier builds of Kyogre, and basically there's not much else to say about this pairing, but it's going to be something that you probably will see because Palkia benefits so much from the rain, and Kyogre also, even though Palkia does deal with Groudon pretty nicely, you've got Kyogre there is kind of like one of the best checks to Groudon going as well, and it just makes Palkia's job a lot easier if you can bring the rain to the field and get rid of that sun to deal with it. You've got Incineroar again, yay! It's another good partner for Palkia. It's going to be a good partner for pretty much everything, isn't it? Intimidate ability going to be really helpful for Palkia against those physical type threats that it's going to face down against, just prolonging its longevity, especially if you're going for a more offensive set as well. Fire Dog typing, Fake Out support helps set up, especially if you're going down a Trick Room route, and then Incineroar can take advantage of that. Intimidate support we've already covered, and then the fire typing is really good against the grass threats like Ferrothorn and Kartana that can cause Palkia a lot of problems, so it's nice coverage there. And then we've got a very interesting good old buddy of Palkia's from the 2010 format. You saw this pairing quite a lot back then, and I do like it. It's very interesting, and I think you could interchange Abomasnow with a lot of Ninetales as well, but I think Abomasnow works a little bit better with Palkia. So we'll just cover that here. You've got the ability Snow Warning, so it's going to bring the Hail to the field for 5 turns. Its typing is Grass and Ice. Hail helps with weather control, obviously, and there's the option, like we've mentioned earlier in the guide, for double Blizzard spam, which is ridiculously strong, especially if you're going with like a Choice Specs Palkia and then you've got the Stab Blizzard from Abomasnow. You're going to be freezing stuff, you're going to be doing tons of damage. The Trick Room support as well to utilize Abomasnow's slow base like total, so that's a really nice option. And Palkia really has amazing defensive synergy to work alongside Abomasnow as a switch in. So you've got Abomasnow out, there's a fire type attack coming, Palkia resists that 4 times, it's an easy switch in there. Steel types, Palkia resists it, switch in there, so they work really nice together, and I do really like this pairing, and especially for the Trick Room switch you've got there. You know, a lot of teams have Amoonguss, for instance, and Ferrothorn. Let's just say, give these 2 examples of Trick Room checks that people have. Palkia learns Flamethrower, which will KO Ferrothorn, and Abomasnow doesn't care what Amoonguss does, because it's just going to chuck out blizzards. It's not going to be able to be rage powdered, it's not going to be able to be spoiled. So really nice partnership, and something I would really advocate all you guys to try out. If you're going to try Palkia, try Abomasnow with it, because I think it's really nice, and I think Abomasnow is a bit of an underrated Pokemon in this format as well. It is a nice Trick Room option, and it's got a lot of options. You know, you get it in the Trick Room, it's going to do a lot of damage to things like Groudon, Groudon, Kyogre. It can do a lot of work, and it's got a lot of nice move pool options as well. So another good partner of Palkia's, along the same lines as Kartana, but just on the slower spectrum, is going to be another Abomasnow that's called Ferrothorn. Wow, I can't believe I've done that. How have I not finished this off? Ability, we've got Iron Barbs. Let's do it live. And Grass and Steel. Let's see if we've got this right. Amazing defense synergy pairing and allows board positioning. Yes, that's right. Ferrothorn benefits from Palkia's ability to Trick Room, which is correct as well, and both complement each other offensively against relevant threats. So this is very true. So against bulky waters, Ferrothorn, like Kartana, can deal with them pretty easily. Fairy typing as well is threatened heavily from Ferrothorn. Palkia, if it's threatened by those fairy types, will be able to just switch out into Ferrothorn, which it'll be able to take it a lot easier. And Ferrothorn again is like benefits to no end from that Trick Room environment that Palkia can provide as well. So very good pairing. Sorry about the errors there, we got there in the end. Next pairing that we've already revealed, but another pairing that I'd like to cover with Palkia that I think is very nice and something that should be looked at is Duskmane Necrozma and Solgaleo. Abilities Prism Armor and Full Metal Body, respectively, both steel psychic typing. Again, the excellent offensive and defensive synergy between all 3, well, you know, between these two Pokemon and Palkia. The speed control options there on either side all have options to Trick Room. There's options there to set Trick Room up when Trick Room's ending. You've got double Trick Room if you want to just prolong those Trick Room turns. You've got the option to run weakness policy on either Solgaleo or Dustman Necrozma as well, and proc it with Bulldoze from Palkia if you're going down maybe an Assault Vest variant like we've mentioned earlier in the guide. Lots of options there. Solgaleo and Dustman Necrozma deal with those fairy types as well super effectively, so just really good protection for Palkia in general. I do like this pairing a lot, and it's something that again I would like to test out. There's so many things I'd like to test out in this format, but going through these guides. But yeah, really nice, and something I think I would consider as a partnership maybe if you do go Palkia, because if you're looking at like things that threaten Solgaleo, like restricted wise, you've got Groudon, Palkia deals with Kyogre, Palkia deals with. Especially if you've got the Assault Vest as well, you can probably deal with stuff like, to a certain extent, Lunala you're probably going to need checks against, but opposing Solgaleo you'll be able to deal with pretty easily. You've got access to Earth Power there. Dialga, you've got Earth Power, you've got lots of options there, so I think that the two have a lot of potential there, and you've got to remember if you pick these two you've got 4 other slots as well, so I do really like these two together, and I think there is a lot of potential there, but testing will have to see whether that will come to fruition or not. If you've tested this out, do let me know what you think about it, and I would love to hear from your side of things about the Palkia, Necrozma, Dustman, Necrozma, Solgaleo partnership. But that will cover everything. We're just going to finish off as we normally do with threats and counter table. Obviously, Palkia has a big weakness to fairy types: Xerneas, Tapu Koko, Tapu Fini, Tapu Lele, which I haven't included in here, but they all give it a hard time. Alolan Ninetales as well. It will threaten with those Moonblasts. It is going to be faster as well, and I'll also throw on Mimikyu there because it's hitting it on the physical side rather than the special side with those play roughs. Dragon types as well, although not so popular and definitely probably won't be running Dragon type attacks. I wouldn't discount it. So you've got things like Zygarde, Dialga, and Naganadel I put in there because it will add speed. Palkia, it has the ability to knock it out if you haven't got the right support for it. So just things to be aware of, and things to have, like switchings to answers and checks to if you're running Palkia yourself. And then checks and walls. Gastrodon is going to wall Palkia all day long, so that's why it's important to have something like Kartana, Tapu Bulu. Ferrothorn is a partner to Palkia, to make sure you've got answers around these sort of things that can really wall it. Tapu Bulu's not really going to care outside of Flamethrower what Palkia can throw onto it, and it's going to do big damage back with those Wood Hammers. Ferrothorn again, if you haven't got Flamethrower on Palkia, it's going to be able to just one-on-one you easily and just disrupt your momentum completely with Palkia. And Ludicolo as well, even if you've got Flamethrower there, and Thunder, if you haven't got Spatial Rend, it's going to be a really difficult one-on-one situation. Ludicolo does a really good job against Palkia, so there's a few things that really will give Palkia some headaches and some things to think about if you are going to be running Palkia yourself. So I hope you found this guide useful. If you've enjoyed it, if you've got any questions, leave them in the comment section below. As always, if you have enjoyed the guide, do leave a like on the video, and make sure you do subscribe to the channel to stay up to date with all of these guides that we have coming out, guys. And we'll be back very shortly with another guide very soon. So thank you again for tuning in. It is very much appreciated, and I will say goodbye. I will see you very soon, and until then, guys, take care of yourselves, and bye bye.